her forehead. And there is another right piece of evidence. Evidence? What? Wait, what? Something else was found quite clearly. The defendant's fingerprints. What? Order! 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 That event was the only way out of the room. The defendant's fingerprints were found on the grid. Well, her forehead, what fairy tale does this suggest to you? Only one good pass for that vent, that doorway to heaven. That one is our pixie. Why are you looking at me, Apollo? Hey, how's that whooping out from the audience? So this was a decisive errand. Quite decisive indeed. No circumstances under which the body was found that was there. You must have had a good reason to arrest Maki. Now I'm going to find out what it was. When you say rock, are you referring perhaps to this rock and roll music that's so popular these days? That's right, we went into the dressing room. Music was playing over the speaker on the wall. They have to be so loud. You don't listen to the governors with your ears, you feel it with your entire body and soul. I always have them backstage monitors at full volume. You could hear that music playing. Then everyone on stage works on has an alibi, including myself. Believe that's enough of that. The prosecution has a rather convincing case. The only way in and out of the crime scene was watched, making the defendant the only one who could possibly lead the scene. Simple and decisive. I'm sure the Chief Justice would appreciate that gesture. Unfortunately, we have no direct witnesses. Fortunately, the criminal left the decisive evidence first. That will have to be enough. Calm you already. Very well, I believe this trial is finished. The defense has no contradicting evidence. The prosecution has presented our proof, clear and plain. If you have contradicting evidence, it better be clear and plain. I know! Think, what can get us out of this? We need evidence or witness that can prove Maki is innocent beyond a doubt. Without that, Mr. Justice, do you have contradicting proof that can overturn the prosecution's case? Prosecutor Gavin, you claim there were no witnesses to the crime. Are you absolutely sure? Absolutely. I'd swear it on my career as a prosecutor. And on my million-seller hit song, A Truck Winning My Love. There he goes again. That's too bad, because I was a witness. Oh, really now? But how did you come to possess knowledge the prosecution clearly does not? Because I'm the only one in the world who knows this. What? The victim said this before he died? Perhaps he did, and perhaps he did not. What do you mean, Ma? All we know is what her forehead says it said. It's no testimony, especially since it comes from the defense. Well, it's the truth. I said it. I even told you about it. But apparently, you ignored me completely. It's my policy to fully investigate everything I deem relevant. Clearly this rookie lawyer thinks he can tell me how to do my job. That's enough, Mr. Justice. We need clear contradictory proof from you. This witness of yours, unknown to the prosecution. Hope you're right. Failure carries a stiff penalty, or even unlimited penalty. Perhaps a stiffer penalty than usual is called for. There's no backing out now.
Take that!
Lamois? Look on Mr. Latusse's last words. The siren? Aha, he meant the siren. That's right, the siren of the ballad, Lamois. Lamois was only on stage for the second set, and she had access to the backstage area. She could have been a witness. I see. Well, Prosecutor Gavin. My claim still stands. There was no witness to this crime. Very well. Let's hear it from the horse's mouth then, shall we? We'll now take a break from Detective Emma Sky's cross-examination. Please show Lamois to the witness stand. Here's my distinct honor to welcome the sign of the ballad to our courtroom. Ah, you can speak English! Yes, yes I can. But I'm not very good. There's much I do not know. What does she mean? She doesn't know. I thought to call her as a witness, but I did not. I had a reason, of course. What's that? Lamois suffers from amnesia. Well, yeah, why did she tell? Lamois is not my true name. Yep. Real name, Thalassa Granby. As lauded singer Lamois, she lives a good life. There are little difficulties for her, thanks to her success. Yet I did not wish to subject her to unnecessary stress. I see. I guess if I knew little about people's pasts, you have nothing to fear in this court, Lamois. Lamois, let me be frank. I did not want to ask you up here to testify. Yet that young gentleman with the white forehead over there was adamant that you stand. The young gentleman who might be your son. Well, now that you're here, please give us your testimony. If nothing else, the sound of your voice is welcome. Tell us what you saw tonight in crime. I must say, you sound wonderful just testifying. I'm just too distracted to hear what she was actually saying. There you have it. She saw nothing that night. Now I can only pray that the defense has the sense to admit defeat, and refrain from detaining her here longer than need be. Very well, Mr. Justice. Keep it short and sweet. You must have seen something. Mr. Latouche named you. Mr. Latouche? Lamois, he said you were a witness for his dying words. It was a great concert. I was hoping to get an autograph later, actually. Mr. Justice, this is a cross-examination. You're out of line. If anyone deserves an autograph here, it's me. One on my gavel would be nice. Judge. What's this? It's my autograph. Now keep this charm moving. What? Oh, my grandchild will be so happy. Apparently his grandson is a big fan. Let us continue, shall we? If you would, Lamois. Tell us what you did after your stellar performance.
Hold it!
You did not return backstage once? Where were you in? What were you doing? Was Marky with you at the time? So much for an alibi for Marky.
Objection!
Nope. I'm a fucking dumbass.
Hold it!
Me in a nutshell. Yes, he's given the police no end of headaches. He answers most questions with silence, and those glinting frames speak nothing. The question hasn't gone very far.
Hold it!
Require some security. Allow me to apologize, but please understand, keeping you in the dark was as painful for me as it was for you. Think, what doesn't ring true about testimony? Why would you tell me night murder? Ah, the brooch. Because I would not be at the crime scene if she didn't return backstage.
Objection!
I'm sorry, Lamois, but I'm having trouble believing you. You remember this brooch, do you not? Why, this Lamois. She was wearing it for her song. Here, to add that to the testimony, Prosecutor Gavin. What? This brooch was found after the murder took place, at the very scene of the crime. Lamois, how did your brooch get backstage if you did not go there yourself? As Prosecutor Gavin just told us, you had been wearing it during your performance that night. What is the meaning of this? Lamois, please explain. Lamois? She says English. That trick's not gonna work here. Your forehead may be large, but you're a lawyer, truly. But you have missed one important fact. What now? In fact, at the time of the incident, I went backstage, but only for a moment. What? Think back to the moment of the crime. You know whereof I speak. Did you really say that? Right when the incident occurred... Is she talking about that? So this was when you approached Joe. That explains that. That's ridiculous. You only looked in for an instant, but you dropped your brooch? her forehead. She has raised the possibility. The only thing that can counter that is evidence. So she looked in at the crime scene. Her forehead is shouting who's that? Horrible voice indeed. Close the door immediately. That's too convenient. She's hiding something. Wait, nope.
Gotcha!
She's gulping. Believe Mr. Latuse's body, you say? You know something more about Mr. Latuse's death than you're saying. I could see you trying not to remember, but the effort made you swallow. You can't fool my eyes. One moment, Lamois. What was that you just said? Why? Did Mr. Latuse have to be shot? She was hiding something, I knew it.
Take that!
And even at the end of Spirit of Justice, he still never told Apollo that she's her mother. That she's his mother. Nope.
Take that!
No, you're not misunderstanding. I'm just a dumbass.
Take that! Take that!
Nope. I'm, like I said, I'm just a fucking dumbass.
Take that!
Oh, of course, there's the investigation report. Probably meant more recent.
Take that!
Immediately following the incident, a gag order was placed on the scene. This is a document proving that. In your testimony, you told the court, no one told me anything about the incident. Furthermore, you testified that you had seen nothing. And you knew that Mr. Latouche had been shot. How could you have known? Because she's blind. Lamoire, you aren't hiding something from this court, I hope. That sweet song of hers was sounding a little too sweet. All we want for more is the truth. You saw something, I know it. Even the victim said so. Bullet holes.
Objection!
Lamoire, they call you the Simon of the Ballad. But lies are hardly becoming of such a creature. A put down worthy of prosecutor, Mr. Justice. Such put downs are hardly becoming of you, sir. Just stop polishing your forehead and start polishing your character, yeah? Come on, can I be cool? Can I be cool for once? Observe the diagram. Lamoire, you looked in from the door for just a moment. Correct? There are bullet holes in the room, yes? But even the wall the door is on. You see, assuming you merely glanced into the room, you couldn't have seen those bullet holes. Lamoire? I'm afraid the defense raised a good point. It appears you have been holding back something. The happenings in the cell are being reported. I'm certain it will be on the news in Virginia. You understand your reputation is at stake. It falls to you to avoid tarnishing it. Personally speaking, I still believe that cross-examining her will yield us absolutely nothing. But she knew how Mr. Lettuce died, and he named her as a witness. You must have seen something, Lamois. Very well, Lamois. Please continue your testimony. So you did witness a crime, and the killer was a grown person, you say? This is my first time hearing this, I assure you. Nice play, Herr Forehead. Very well, Mr. Justice, you may begin your cross-examination. This whole thing smells fishy. That's what's wrong. What exactly is something like a little window? You need not worry. Your choice of words is impeccable. There is a small window in the dressing room in question. Perhaps the defense remembers this detail? That little window on the wall. A grown person? That's a little vague. Certainly you could at least see whether the shooter was male or female. And you're sure of that? Voice? Looking at this diagram, it seems the dressing room was quite cluttered. It does seem likely that you would have had a clear view of the shooter. So you heard a voice, but wait! Couldn't that have been the victim, Mr. Lettuce? Indeed. So you had the window and you heard the shooter's voice, the voice of a young man. Indeed, this turns out to be true, but casts this case in a considerably different light. What is the defense's opinion on this testimony? It's contradictory because you can't see that window. Now it pains me to say this. There's something about Lamois' testimony that rings false. Bravo, Herr Forehead. You called it and I thought. Sure you remember what the problem is as well as I do, Gavin. As has been established, no grown man could pass me that air vent. He couldn't have fled the scene of the crime. No, well, I know it's bad for our case, but I can't show my eyes to this. Believe me, the idea was tempting. It is as Herr Forehead says. Yet, this is not the only contradiction within her testimony. What next? What are you talking about? Lamois, I understand why you would want to protect me. Yet remember, you're the siren of the ballad, and lies do not become such a creature. What does the prosecution mean? How come no man's an eye when he says stuff like that? I recall the state of the crime scene quite well. State of it? Yes, and when the murder took place, that window was closed. I find it hard to believe you could hear a voice. Lamois, I have nothing but the highest regard for your musical sense, but my opinion of you as a witness is somewhat lesser. But she's the only eyewitness we have. So you say. And the victim named her, the siren, as a witness? That's right, that's what Mr. Lettuce. We heard you claim. We even entertained the possibility, and it brought us to this. Judge, the prosecution requests that the witness be excused. Please. I'm afraid I was only the prosecution's request. There is indeed a question of the witness's credibility. But from what I can testify... Now, where were we? Yes, I would like to hear from Fräulein Detective.
Objection!
Wait, let me hear Lenoir's testimony one last time. But the cross-examination is already over. Till such thing as the need arises, this witness may leave the stand. At last, back to the vehicle. Ready, Herr Forehead? Oh, but didn't just miss my only chance. Fräulein Detective, how far had we gotten until we were solidly interrupted? I dislike saying the same thing twice. And I never repeat a song for an uncle. If you would, Miss Sky. Ah, yes, there was only one door in the room. The witness, you, was standing in front of it. A virtuoso performance. I couldn't have put it better myself. She does state a clear case. They're reading the report. Something caught my eye. Oh, what's that? The circumstances of the defendant's arrest. Circumstances? Again? She's right. Why did Mr. Latuse's body disappear from the room? And end up on top of that stage tower? Holding a guitar, no less. Perceptive observation. Oh, thanks. It was kind of an accident, really. But you work in this job long enough, you get a nose for things. Very good, Fräulein Detective. Perhaps you can tie it all together for us? Why was the body moved, and how does that lead us to the killer? Lenoir's song? Yes, the guitar sound. You noticed it's code too, did you not? It's code? All the events that day followed the lyrics to our song. First, the keys my heart held onto so tight, and it was stolen. Then prosecutor Gavin's guitar burst into flames on stage. Mr. Latuse's life was taken by a bullet. The rest hardly needs explanation. Guitar, up together to the sky. That's mad! It's like a story out of some fairy tale. I admit I've forgotten about the song, but there it is now, waiting for me, the grand finale as it were. I've heard of jumping rope to songs and counting to songs, but killing? It's a wild world out there, Herr Judge. Very well, we've heard one song and dance, let's get on to the next, because of You missed the fact that if he had indeed shot Latouche, it would have dislocated his shoulder. Just as Fräulein Detective says. Let us begin with the first verse, if you would, Fräulein Detective. You are the witness, yeah? Or did you want me to? I warn you, my fee as vocalist is not easy. Indeed, my favorite heart-shaped key was stolen at the moment. Bravo, Fräulein Detective. You see, it's not bad. Now for the finale. No series of coincidences could be so well conceived. Homework, you said? That console was whack?
Hold it!
A deep reason? Not only did he steal, he torched my guitar. Unforgivable acts even if he had it. And worse if he had none. Davis' complaints aside, can't imagine someone doing this on just a whim. Fräulein Detective, I take offense at that description. Indeed, it does seem too well rehearsed, shall we say?
Hold it!
But Mr. Two spoke English. He may have come to this country before. Oh. Great! You see, no one here had a multiple key. And certainly not in such an elaborate fashion. Unless our famous prosecutor is a publicity stunt. What did you say? You did this to merge your song? Of course not, and I'm quite dismayed by the ludicrous nature of her claim. Why would I need promotion? Everyone already listens to my music. And I've never heard of them. What does that mean?
Hold it!
And that means what exactly? No, you can't be serious. That reminds me, the monitor in that room was blown at the time, yeah? Hardly ideal conditions for tracking my sound. A blind shooter? No wonder he missed. I knew those bullets and holes would come back to haunt me. Think justice, what do we do now? Raise an objection. Sure, there were bullet holes left in the wall. That doesn't prove the shooter couldn't see. Oh, how so? Well, there could have been a struggle with the victim. That's certainly possible. And there might have been the revolver's... The revolver? The revolver was a very large caliber, correct? The shooter wasn't used to firing such a large weapon. Why could dislocate their shoulder? Exactly. The defendant, Marky Tabai, is, as you can see, tiny. So it's hard to picture him finding the gun and missing entirely. The kickback alone would rock his aim. A convincing argument, to be sure. Ain't that smooth prosecution. Follow? Huh? What? Oh. Does not matter why he missed. What matters is that the shooter was, without a doubt, the defendant. Even the defense seems to agree on that point. I really put my foot in it this time. But let's get the facts of the matter on the record. Your word, Fräulein Detective.
Objection!
The prosecution holds that the shooter couldn't see. Apparently not thorough enough. There's some piece of evidence that completely overturns your claim. This is that evidence. The photograph of the crime scene? I don't care much for the smirk on Prosecutor Gavin's face. There's no time to think twice. Don't press on. Yes, Your Honour, the crime scene. There's something in here that decisively contradicts the prosecution's point. The writing. Then perhaps you best show us some. Get your finger out of the breeze and put it to good use, yeah? Very well, show us what you're talking about, Mr. Justice.
Take that!
The contradiction is right here. I thought it was just my blurry vision, but it really was blurry. The way the victim's hand is raised above his head, much like a gesture I've seen many times in this court. Get what then? What? Thanks for making my point for me. Yes, in fact, that's why things happened here. Neither would I. No one has anything to say? About what? So the prosecution accepts this. You agree that this was the victim making an attempt to record name of the killer, and that the killer tried to rub name out? What's my point? Let me ask you this. How did the killer know the victim was writing their name? Wait. Once he saw what it was, what did you just testify about the shooter? And the crime scene itself contradicts that. The killer had to be able to see. Wouldn't have rub out the name in blood otherwise. May I remind the court that the defendant, Maki Tabai, is blind? You could have been the shooter. Order! 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 Prosecutor Gavin, please explain to me what all this means. I mean, looking at this photo, it seems quite clear that the shooter could see, yet up until now. It seems I owe the court an apology. The Gavin is only banned with law enforcement ties, yet a murder occurred during our concert. Apparently this caused some confusion over jurisdiction. As a result, some reports were not filed in an entirely timely manner. I'm not sure I like the vibe I'm getting here. I've got an idea. Let's roll. With these documents. But beforehand, I have a question for the following detective, if I may. Tell me, why do you think that Maki Tabai is blind? Oh, it's something. Forgot what day it was for a minute now. What is it? Of course. It's your way round. No way! I have a report here on the defendant, Maki Tabai. According to this, Maki Tabai can see perfectly well. But you said... What did I say, exactly? Her forehead, not once in the course of this trial. Have I claimed the defendant was blind? The only one who did was following detective. A significant fact, yes. Consider Maki Tabai sees. And he was the only one who could have fled for the evidence. I see no problem with this. I know you didn't have what it took. Oh, so. He's angry at choosing now. Look out. If you could please end the bickering now. But your testimony is only giving us enough to convict the defendant. Don't say that. What? That seems to be what happened, yes. Yes, have we done these tests yet? The bloodstain is covered a section of the carpet. In order to perform blood tests, that section was removed and submitted. Perhaps we should request it here in court now. Huh? I have to do the test? The chemical that reacts to blood. I read this somewhere. Let's do this. Wow, it really works. Maybe it is. The killer's a robot. I have it. I thought those letters IPXX looked familiar. This is a Interpol ID number. Yes, most undercover agents working to solve international crimes. But why would he write that number? Why must no 270 number like that? Good show, foreign detective. Welcome. Your Honor, we can verify this number immediately. Darian, are you there? Come up to the witness stand. Darian, you heard what we need. Go check into the Interpol ID. Sure thing. Give me 5 minutes. No, give me 27. Not sure what to think of all this. The prosecution's case is out-tied, or so it seems. Yet if this number is really that for an Interpol agent, that would be a possibility. If you're on jobs. Because how can a 14-year-old be an agent? Why did it use an Interpol ID number? What are you talking about? Fräulein Detective, please accept my apologies. I received word that the defendant could in fact see just before the trial began. Seemed too much of a bother to tell you. Does this not raise a rather straightforward question? Exactly, it makes little sense. What do you think, Herr Forehead? Huh? Me? Marky the Bye pretended he was blind. Do you know why? He's known from the start of the trial. He's been leading us on the whole time. Is something wrong? Do you think perhaps this is all some kind of game? Not at the moment I heard that report, I knew why. Suppose people who have sold over 1 million records really are something else. What does that have to do with anything? There's a reason why Maki the Vibe pretended to be blind, but it wasn't for his own sake, getting the picture now. Wasn't for himself? Well, Mr. Justice, can you present evidence that shows us why the defendant had to feign blindness? Yeah, because if he's not the blind one... Good shot. Seems you thought of something. Why can't I figure these things out on my own? I have to take my cues from this guy. Very well, look at this.
Take that!
Now it is L'amour. L'amour and Marky the Bye. Recall their relationship. In particular, the unique arrangement over the years before visiting our country. That's right, because he was blind. She led him at all times, never let him go. All times? Yeah, we have just learned something that makes the arrangement peculiar indeed. Marky could see. Why did they have the key of this act the whole time? Well, wasn't part of their performance. I think there's a simple explanation. Marky did not need to be led by a hand at all. That could only mean one thing. Really, it was all the other way round. The one who needed to be led by a hand was Lamoire. Yes, Your Honor. Lamoire is blind. Order! 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 This is crazy, Prosecutor Gavin. Is it now? Please shed some sanity on this madness. The only thing outrageous I see about Netherface is his vast forehead. Yet I see it is not vast in vain this time. He's quite correct. Why not ask Lamoire herself? I believe she is still in the witness waiting room. Don't ask me! I had no idea she couldn't see. I didn't even imagine that until now. Bailiff, bring in Lamoire. Lamoire, it pains me deeply to call you before us again in this way, and yet I must. Those eyes, she really can't see, really? It is true. How funny it is that a tiny lie born in the Virginian countryside would one day grow to entangle this entire world. So you are? Yes, as I mentioned before, I have no memory of the time I became normal. What the fuck? I see. You may recall me saying something toward the beginning of this trial, therefore. I believe I said it was unfortunate that this crime had no direct witness. Now, Lamoire, I must ask you to stand once more. Will you testify to the court about your eyes? It was never my intent to deceive any of you. May I begin, Your Honor? Yes, of course. Though I admit I'm a little lost here. I think we're all a bit lost here, Your Honor. When she said she saw nothing. Very well, does the defense have anything to add? I'd like to cross-examine. There was one thing in the testimony that bothered me. Perhaps it is best we let you get it out of your system. Someday you'll come to understand the importance of thinking for yourself. When people listen to a big picture, the country crosses their hearts, which is why my music has reached so many. Sounds like this producer might have known what he was doing after all. you say your staff, do you include Mr. Latus? So no, and that's what's been bugging me. Something the matter, Mr. Justice? I believe I know what is bothering our young defense attorney. You are thinking of when you discovered the body. Yes, I was. Mr. Latus told me to ask the witness, and he named you. Why would he do that? He knew you were blind. What did I just say? You'll need to learn to think for yourself. Mean what? There's no mystery if you recall everything he said. Think of his last words once more. The witness siren? You've heard them many times, along with a little play acting by our defense. I remember them well myself, but that statement is not to what I refer. I mean what he said before that. Ah. That's right, he tried to tell you. When he said can't see, he wasn't talking about himself. He was talking about the witness. Too bad the defense did not. Well, her forehead. Try relaxing and looking at the facts first. Order! Order! You called Lamoise earlier this time. Well, she couldn't have heard those gunshots. I thought we proved that. That is not the most important. The moment he was shot, Mr. Latus witnessed her with that window. Why else would he have named her as the witness? Ah. Unfortunately, such a thing was impossible. The window was closed. We've already run a simulation, of course. But it was so clear. If I heard that voice again, I would know it in an instant. Your Honor! What is it, bailiff? Can't you see we're in session here? We have the results back from the investigation. The investigation? Ah, the Interpol number that Mr. Latus left us. Well, let's hear it. We will continue this first examination afterward. Detective Crescent, your report, please. I asked Interpol about the number. Sure you'll find their answer intriguing. Quick work as always, darling. Well, tell us about the number. The defendant is secret agent IPXX314206. The agent registered on this number was Romain Latus. What? Our undercover Interpol agent was Miss Latus himself, apparently in the middle of an operation. So even on those letters, he was trying to tell us his own identity. A cautious killer tried to wipe him away. Well, it's just a cover, most likely. There's one other important detail I found. Well, how to read it? Concerns a .45 caliber revolver, a murder weapon. Apparently it belonged to Romain Latus. He had an Interpol permit to carry firearms. The registration number on the revolver matched, so the victim was killed with his own weapon. It makes sense. It's hard to imagine someone who wasn't an Interpol agent with such a large revolver. So the victim was an Interpol agent on an undercover op. Now that ties in everything. Thanks for looking into that for us, Detective Crescent. It's great help. Oh, no problem at all, Your Honor. We had now. Wait. Lamoise, something the matter? That voice is no. Darian. Mr. Darian, is it? It was him. I'm sure of it. It was him? You aren't saying. That voice I heard talking to Mr. Latus when I heard the gunshots fired. It was him, it was Mr. Darian. Is this some kind of a joke? What? No way. Go Someone fell into such chaotic state that the trial had to be suspended temporarily. I've seen that happen before. Oh well.